Couple of days ago, we shared an overview of upcoming changes. Which post are they referring to here? Minions are in here. Yeah, it was the minion. Okay. Which prompted additional helpful feedback from the community. We also mentioned in that post that we were monitoring and discussing some things internally that didn't have a follow-up yet. We're covering both of these in today's post. Arch-nemesis in Delve. Arch-nemesis monsters with the heralding minion mods are too punishing. Oh, you think? We fixed this internally so that the heralding minion mod will no longer appear on monsters in Delve. Okay, great for the 3 people that is running Delve right now. Have you seen the prices on the fossils? There's at the very maximum 3 people running Delve. Okay? How about nerfing them for the rest of the players? Sorry. I'm gonna try to keep myself calm, because I know what's coming in this post. Community feedback reports that Arch-nemesis modifiers that convert rewards to quality currency in Flask feels bad. We're discussing this internally, but don't have an outcome to report just yet. However, initial discussions suggest that there's a fair bit of team agreement around it feeling bad. Well, that's good. This is good. Everybody agrees that this is shit. Well, at least the vast majority. It was nice the first day or two. I'll say that. This was really nice the first day or two, but it got really bad after that. It just started feeling shit. So this is a good post. That's a good comment right there. That's a good part. As we mentioned in our last post, some players have noted that they'd prefer item drops to have a lower variance. An example, fewer big spikes of valuable rewards with the rewards averaged out across more encounters. This is something we're still discussing. I totally agree with that as well. I don't want to drop 50 fucking fractured items to stop everything I'm doing to loot half of the, well, loot a fraction of it, identify, verify it's all shit, toss it out, loot some more, identify it, verify it's all shit, toss it out, loot some more, identify it, verify it's all shit, toss it out, pick up some more, identify it, verify it's shit, toss it out, pick up some more, identify it, verify it. You get the point. Also mentioned in our last post was that monsters can drop items, shouldn't have a large number of Arch-nemesis mods that will be capped at 2 mods. That's interesting. That would be less of a feels bad if you get one of those on the monsters that that can't drop loot. This change is happening internally and will be deployed in an upcoming patch. I mean, okay, so far this is good. This maybe not so much, but that's fine so far. We're also aware of feedback around monsters applying permanent marks feeling frustrating, particularly in context of Arch-nem mods and Dell, but also in other areas of the game. This issue has some technical complications around it and make it tricky to improve, but it is something we're still working on. Okay, that's good as well. So far, the Arch-nem mods, kind of disappointing on this one, but this here, that's pretty good so far. Doesn't warrant 0 upvotes. Moving on. Kalandra Ligaruni. In the lake of Kalandra, rock formations don't allow you to hide from enemy attacks. This has been fixed internally. Will be deployed in the coming patch. What? Wait, people hide from attacks using the rocks? I thought this was an ARPG. So? It's an ARPG that is completely pressing us to do faster and faster and have a much faster clear speed. It's a clear speed pressure that we're always encountering. Why the fuck would you be hiding? You should be moving forward. That's what the game has been telling us for the last 8 years. But okay, apparently that's an issue. I don't know. Players have mentioned that when Beyond appears in the Lake of Kalandra, its difficulty to reward ratio doesn't feel right. We're investigating this. Okay, that's fair. But I also believe that a lot of that has to do with the nerf to the tainted currency in general, though. I know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's my take on it. Much of the community's feedback this league is focused on the rewards coming from Lake Kalandra. We're making the reflecting mist 50% more common while assessing other item drops. Currently, we feel the general drops in the lake are okay, but the past league content that appears in the lake may not be rewarding enough. We're keen for specific feedback around which past league encounters in the lake don't feel quite right in terms of rewards. Please include as much detail as possible around your experiences. Okay, here's my experience. The rewards are, to some degree, okay. Could be better, but okay in my opinion. The problem is not so much the rewards. It's that you get up to like difficulty 10, Harbingers fucks you over. Difficulty 10 or higher, Essences fucks you over. Difficulty 10, Breaches fucks you over. Sorry, Kikis, you're gonna have to fucking censor me a little bit on this one. I'm just saying. That's the problem. The rewards is not really the problem. It's the fact that the difficulty is miles ahead of the rewards. And that's just fucking weird. I said fuck again. Fuck. Harvest crafting, we're making it so that you can see how much life force of each type you have available at the Horticrafting station. Well, that's a good change. That's a good change. We're also aware there's a lot of disappointment around certain harvest crafts being removed. Previously, harvest crafting was balanced by how difficult it was to get the crafts that you want. I'll be honest, before I continue reading this, I just want to point out that the only craft that was hard to get was augment crafts. Especially the augment influence. That was the only thing that was hard to get. Everything else was literally available to an unlimited degree. Now the crafts are tradable. Harvest power was reduced to be more in line with other crafting methods. We understand that there's a call for us to bring those crafts back, but it isn't really possible while allowing harvest to remain tradable. Chris Wilson said in an interview we had with him on this stream that if they ever made harvest tradable, they would have to significantly make the crafts rarer. The solution they've done is to remove certain crafts because it's all just buying the craft mats. Well, this isn't exactly what you want to hear. This isn't exactly what you want to hear. I can say that this issue was pushed very hard during discussions to see if any compromise could be made. Harvest crafting potential without being gated by rarity is just too high. Eldritch currency, we're making it so that Eldritch Exalted, Eldritch Chaos, Eldritch Aura Annulment will drop in lower area levels. We're also buffing their drop rate. These currency items are intended to fulfill similar functions to some of the removed harvest crafts while continuing to be gated by rarity. Though we're aware that they can only be applied to certain items and are still discussing whether similar solutions for other gear sets are appropriate. We understand this isn't a full remedy for harvest withdrawals, but it should slightly improve the availability of crafting and powerful crafting tools. But you can't use them on influenced items. Thank you for your feedback. Please continue to let us know about your experience, in particular, as we mentioned earlier, feedback around past lakes, counter rewards inside the lake. Oh, fuck. I don't like it. It's shit. Okay, so the thing is, a lot of people don't really want to mention this, I guess, but I'd like to mention this before I go off on a tangent. The changes to harvest is extremely, and I will underline the word extremely, like a big fucking text all over the screen saying extremely good for casual players. I think they should increase the drops that we're getting from Life Force, sure. But this is extremely good for those type of players. It really is. And we can't forget that. The changes are good for the casuals. Very, very good. Because of the access to having Reforged craft, for example, this is not very expensive. It allows people to do the Reforged crafts. The problem with this is that they're just, again, another way of crafting with, you know, the roulette, basically. Which is in line with fossils. Right? It's in line with fossils. So I'd say that's fine for the casual players. It really is, and a lot of people are neglecting that. The fact that we have easy time to change our resistances is also a very good change. You don't have to hunt it down. You don't have to go to TFT and all of those things. The problem, though, with why people are so upset is because we had crafts when it was not tradable with unlimited or close to unlimited access through TFT with Reforged Keep Suffix, Reforged Keep Prefix. There is a ton of other nerfs that has happened, such as the Reforged More Likely. They've taken away Much More Likely. This is a craft I used to use a lot when I did Prophet crafts, also some of my mirror crafts. This was a great craft to use. Because they removed the much in this modifier or in this craft method, this is a complete fucking waste of currency to even try to use. It is so hilariously bad that I never want to waste any currency on using it. It's just sad. I think they mentioned that one was bugged or something. I haven't seen that, but I'm just saying it's just trash. Another thing is when it comes to influences, you still have randomized influence, which I think is nice to keep having there. And then you have all of the augments still don't work on non-influence items, but there is no augment influence modifier anymore. Not to mention that they nerfed the augment craft. So instead of augmenting a craft, It is not augmenting and then removing a craft. And removing a craft afterwards. These are actually adding a craft and then removing another modifier, which means that you will add the craft, and then after adding it, it will remove one of the other mods that you didn't add now. Which is basically similar to Ashling. And this is a terrible, terrible solution, in my opinion. Not to mention that it still can't be used on influenced items. And their backup or solution to this is to give us Eldritch currency, which you can't use on influenced items. Chris Wilson has made it very clear that... So I'm just going to keep myself calm with this. Chris Wilson have made it very clear that he wants rare crafted items to be the best items in the game. I'm going to take an example of something that I usually craft. I have a goal. My personal goal is to craft the meta minion helmet in the league. In the current state of the game, that is going to be the Absolution helmet. The left side helmet here that you're looking at is the initial base of how this is crafted. It means to have an elevated hyperthermia, and I'm going to smack this with a Maven Orb, hoping I remove the area of effect and adding +4 with an elevated crit on the suffix. Once this is done, I will try to work with the prefixes. Before 3.19, the average craft cost of finishing this to a perfect state was about 2,000 to 3,000 Exalted Orbs. The average craft cost of having an identical-ish, because it's +2 to all instead of +3 socketed, but an identical version in the current league would cost me between 12 and 15,000 Divine Orbs. 2,000 to 3,000 Exaltas in previous league is an amount of currency that the vast majority of the player base will never reach. That is an insane craft with an insane amount of currency. To have that quadruple overnight, that's not reasonable. That's not a way to make me play the game longer. That is literally punching me in the... I don't like it. I don't like it. And the thing is, I was always excited to hit the suffixes because the prefixes were usually the expensive part, but it was at least a way for me to... I don't like it. It's shit. It was a way for me to have half my item done, which is the way people crafted higher end items, not just mirror items. They would finish the prefixes or the suffixes, and then they could safeguard those with a Reforged Keep prefix or Reforged Keep suffix, so we could work on the other side of the item. This was a very long and very expensive process to go through. Now that's taken away entirely, and the change is because it's tradable. Yeah, but people found these super often in solo self-found. We could deterministically, actually, well, not deterministically, but we could effectively farm them in the trade league without ever going to TFT. They were never a problem. We had access to these and then more without trading. All we did was farm the harvest, and we would get tons of them per day. I've farmed over 100 Reforged Keep in one day with some sextants. That's it. I'm gonna hit this with a Maven Orb in this video for you guys right now. We fucked it up. Now I'm gonna teach you the process of this helmet. I lost my hyperthermia. Now the solution to this is that I can do this. Suffix can't be changed. 2 Divine Orbs. I'm gonna reforge this with a Reforged Cold. And if I don't get... where is Reforge? Reforge Cold. If I don't get the 20 hyperthermia or 18 hyperthermia, I got a 20. We actually have another shot. Great. So the next process for this helmet is that I do a suffix can't be changed, and then I will Maven Orb it again. And what happens when I fix the suffixes, they're not safe anymore, because I'm supposed to hit 2 other prefixes and a benchcraft. But if at any given time this helmet gets 3 prefixes in my crafting method, I have to annul it. And if that hits a suffix, I have to restart the entire craft process. And I have used over 6,000 Essence of Insanity. And they're currently going, I'm buying them for about 10 chaos each, 12C in bulk. So you have 6,000 times 10, that's 60,000 chaos orbs divided by 170. That means I've spent 352 divines just to get this base going.
When I'm ready.
How much are mirrors going for? 160. I've spent more than 2 mirrors on just getting this. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to be able to risk my item across the board because there's no way to fix this. And I have to go through this process till I get lucky enough rolling the roulette wheel to be in a position where I actually can get the finished product. That is absurd. But again, this is a 1% elitist jerk take, in my opinion. I didn't want to spend too much time on that. I think that one of the biggest problems is that they're using arguments such as they're tradable now, so now they're too common, so we can't use that. And I think that's pretty crazy, because things like harvest, reforge, keep, prefix, keep, suffix, you could farm 50 plus, 100 plus of those during one day of farming without problems. You didn't even have to go to TFT to trade them. You could farm them yourself. And now they're removed. Not to mention augment influence. There's nothing you can do with influenced items to craft with other than reforges. That's all I can do. That is absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. Like, what happened? What actually happened? It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was hoping they were going to look into crafting, because the way crafting is right now, I know a lot of people are saying that they should hurt the top end players, and I agree with that, because I've been preaching for a very long time that they should cater to the casual players, which I think they did with the harvest changes to some degree. But people want to progress. They want to feel like they're upgrading the stuff. They want to create their own items. That's what they want to do. That's one of the best things you can do in the game. And with the nerfs that happened to harvest, that's not a fair way to do it. And I personally wouldn't mind if reforge, keep, suffix, or keep, prefix used it. Would actually use what's the name of that craft? It's called Sacred Crystallized Life Force. I would have no problems with them having this be part of the payment to use a reforge, keep, pre, or suffix. It would be an expensive craft, and that would be perfectly fine. Add a price to it that would be equivalent to its value or strength. Don't remove it. I mean, I'd be surprised if they allow us to add Eldritch currency to influenced items. That would be way too strong. I don't think they will ever do that. But right now, with the current way of crafting, I don't mind Eldritch currency being the way we craft things, because that's a pretty cool method. But we can't use it on influenced items, which means that anything above the very low end of gearing, crafting is just a shit show and a half. I don't know. I just feel like if I keep talking about this, I'm not going to be able to keep my cool. So do let me know in the comments below what you guys feel about this. I'd appreciate if you hit the like button, subscribe for more content. It does help the channel out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep rocking.